How did you like it? What was that?
It
Gave you the feeling of, oh, this is how it's going to work out at the end, and then it just doesn't happen.
I don't know how to breathe anymore.
And like the thing
I
is,
hate romance movies, and that one was so real that I was like, I feel it, and then it was like, want to rip your heart
they
out?
both got their dream, but they didn't get it together, and that's what messed.
We didn't fucking get shit. Fuck this. Fuck this movie.
By the way, major spoilers in this video. Just gonna let you know right now, there are gonna be some spoilers. Buckle up, kids. This is gonna be a long one. I know I don't usually make talky videos and stuff like that, but I wanted to make a video about La La Land because I just saw it, and there are some things I want to talk about. I'm gonna tell you all the reasons I love La La Land. Okay, so number one thing that caught my eye immediately was the fact that every single scene was so pretty. Everything matched and was so aesthetically pleasing. And even though each scene may have had a different like theme or aesthetic to it, it all made sense, and it was just so pretty to look at. Even if the movie was completely silent and there was no music, it would still be entertaining to watch just because of the different colors, and I loved it. Second thing I loved about La La Land was the fact that the cliches weren't bad. Like, I feel like in movies when directors, when they put in a cliche, it's usually super cheesy and you're just like, oh god, what a cliche, like here's another cliche or whatever. But this one, in this movie, all the cliches were so perfectly played out and they made sense in that moment. And I think the whole idea of this movie is to replicate an old Hollywood movie, and that's basically what they're doing. So cliches and all. So the cliches made sense, and they were good. They made me feel things. Third thing, I myself am an actor, and I've been acting for 3 years, and I'm not professional or anything. I just do high school plays, but I want to continue acting after high school, and I've been told by a lot of people that that's just not going to be possible because it's not a solid profession, and we see that in the movie and stuff. But all of the actor scenes were so relatable. Here's to the Fools audition song at the very end was so relatable, and I loved it so much because it was basically encouraging people like me to continue in the career that they love, even though it's unrealistic and they're probably going to end up in poverty. Another scene that I was like kind of relatable, but actually kind of scary, was the part where she ended up at home after she debuted her own play and it didn't go so well, and then she goes back home because she feels like she failed. Like, when I was watching that scene, I was like, oh god, I hope that doesn't happen to me. That's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna end up at home and heartbroken. So that was relatable, and that really hit some buttons. Also, the playwriting was great. I loved the idea that she couldn't get a part, and so she just wrote her own. Like, I loved that concept. Number 4, I loved the jazz in it. But I've liked jazz since my sophomore year because I had a history teacher who was also the band teacher, and he would always teach history through the music. And so when we got to the era of jazz, I just fell in love, and I've been listening to it ever since. So the fact that there's jazz in this movie just added so much. Number 5, I loved the character of Mia. She was perfectly witty. She was great. The entire time she was entertaining and on and great, and you could really see the character development, and I want to be Mia. Number 6, the what could have been scene at the end, the very end with the montage that goes through the entire movie again, but like with little bits changed. That hurt so bad. And the fact that they could achieve their dreams, but they had to achieve their dreams without each other, that hurt. And that's what made the movie, in my opinion, great. Number 7 and number 8 kind of go together, so I'll just let you know. Number 7, boys or girls. Whoever, if you want to attract someone, do what Sebastian does in the first half of the movie. The second half, he kind of takes a bad turn, but the first half, every single thing he does is like, oh, if someone would do that to me, I would be like just head over heels. When she comes home and she's like, hey, where are you? And then she walks into the house and he's there making her dinner. Do that, boys. And then all of the encouragement that he gives her, all of that was great. Beautiful. And then like at the very beginning when he walks her to the car and it turns out that he was parked right outside the house the entire time, but he decides to walk a mile up to her car. Do what he does. Yep. And then number 8, which kind of ties into that, their whole relationship, the hand-holding scene in the theater, I related to that so much. Every time I go on a first date or a movie date in general, and like if you have dated me, you should know, but I will put my hand either on the armrest or like on my lap in like perfect view of like, hey, you should hold my hand. Like I give them a hint. And you know, most of the guys I've been on dates with have not taken that bait. That was relatable and I really love that scene. Okay, number 9. Some of these are very like only I love bits of it because they relate to me, but number 9 is Mia owns the exact same model of Prius as I do, which wasn't like a plot thing or whatever. It was just nice to see my car. It was great. Number 10, the set of Gilmore Girls makes a cameo in this movie. There is a scene where they're walking out of the coffee shop at the very beginning and she's showing him all of the sets and all of that. They walk past the dance studio and a lawn type area that both were in Gilmore Girls. The dance studio was Miss Patty's dance studio, and then the little lawn area is actually where Kirk makes his own Luke's when Luke's like gets destroyed by the car. If you haven't seen Gilmore Girls and you don't understand what I'm saying, just first of all go watch Gilmore Girls because it's life-changing, and if you haven't seen Gilmore Girls, just ignore this part. Number 11. Okay, before I watched this movie, I had listened to the soundtrack. I was in love with John Legend's song, Start a Fire. And after watching the movie, I loved how the movie made me love-hate that song. Because on one hand, it's really catchy and like I always dance to it and stuff. But on the other hand, it was like, this song was the reason Sebastian like left me and all that stuff. Like, this whole band was the reason the relationship fell apart for the most part. I liked how this movie can make you love-hate a song. That was a new experience for me. Number 12 was I loved the dance and the choreography. And now every time I hear any of the soundtrack, I just feel like I need a tap dance. Like literally, I think I started hopping around in the middle of the hallway during school, during passing time, because I just needed to dance. But obviously I'm not a dancer, so I probably looked like an idiot, but I don't care. It's so pretty. Number 13. All of the costumes and the entire look and aesthetic of the movie was so timeless to the point where I didn't know what era it was until Mia brought out a laptop, or we see a laptop. A lot of times movies, when there's a time period, it's very obvious, and that's good, but I also really liked the fact that this wasn't obvious. And I think that added to the whole theme of this can happen to anyone, anywhere, anytime, as long as you're an artist, basically. Number 14. The overall message of do not give up and keep going was beautiful. Because again, I am an actor, or I feel like that related back to me. And it was very nice to see something encourage young artists instead of telling them not to do it. Because I feel like every day I'm told not to do it. And this movie told me I should. So, thank you. Thank you, La La Land. Number 15. Their relationship was very real and very realistic, and I related to it very much. And I think I mentioned that earlier, but again, very realistic. Good job, movie. And number 16, the final one. This movie was so inspiring, and I loved it so much. And I'm an actor, and I'm kind of a musician, but like, I want to keep making things, and I want to be creative for the rest of my life, and this movie just helped me realize that even more. Like, I am so inspired after watching this movie, and honestly, I'm probably gonna buy it when it comes out and just like watch it every time I'm like in a slump, or I think, why am I doing this? Why do I want to be an actor? This is an awful path for me. Like, I will just take out this movie and spend 2 hours just watching it and remember all of the reasons that I want to be creative and I want to be an actor, because that's what this movie gives me. And it makes me so happy. God, I love La La Land. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I didn't ruin anything for you if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, please comment below, because I want to have conversations about this. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm actually going to try to make videos every Friday. Thank you for watching. Bye!